Okay, thank you, Hannah. Good morning. My name's Gary Kainth. I'm the programme lead for the MSc in Social Work here at Glasgow Caledonian University. Thanks for the opportunity to introduce the course and to answer any questions that you might have. Our programme the programme I'm going to talk about is our full-time professionally accredited route into social work. It's designed for graduates who want to make a meaningful difference in the lives of individuals, families and communities. And at GCU, we're proud to be the university for the common good, and that mission aligns perfectly with the values of social work. So, on to the presentation. What is this course all about? So the MSc in Social Work is designed to prepare students to become registered social workers in Scotland, ready to enter practice. From the outset, the programme combines academic learning with real-world practice. Students develop core professional skills in assessment, safeguarding, ethical decision-making, risk management and multi-agency working, all of which are essential for contemporary social work. Our course is firmly grounded in social justice, human rights and trauma-informed practice. And these aren't just abstract concepts. They're embedded throughout the curriculum and they're applied directly in practice learning and in placements. In terms of who the programme is for, so the MSc provides a graduate entry route into the profession. Our students come from a wide range of backgrounds, including social sciences, psychology, education, health, community work, and the voluntary sector. And we also welcome mature students and those bringing valuable life or professional experience. All applicants have to demonstrate professional suitability and register with the Scottish Social Services Council, which is our regulatory body, and that ensures that students meet the standards required for safe and ethical practice. We usually look for a minimum upper second class degree in the fields I just mentioned, but we are flexible. Your personal statement and your experience count for an awful lot in the application process. In terms of programme structure, so the programme is completed full-time over 2 years and it's a master's level qualification. Students undertake a carefully sequenced set of academic modules covering law and policy, assessment and decision-making, research-informed practice, interprofessional working, and global and cultural dimensions of social work. Crucially, practice learning is central. So students complete 180 days of supervised practice, including at least one statutory placement. And teaching is delivered through a blend of workshops, simulations, case-based learning, group work, placements. It means that students are well prepared for the realities of professional practice. So in your first year, we would be looking at covering law and policy, assessment decision-making, research-informed practice, and global cultural and environmental issues, alongside a placement, an 80-day placement. And in the second year, you do a 100-day placement, and you also do your dissertation and your interprofessional learning. So why choose this course at GCU? Well, there are several reasons why students choose to study social work at GCU. First, GCU is a sector leader in social work education. Our wider social work provision is consistently recognised for quality student experience and graduate outcomes, and those strengths flow directly into the MSc programme. Our undergrad programme was first in the UK in 2025, and those same teaching and support principles flow through the MSc. Secondly, we offer exceptional practice learning. GCU plays a leading role in regional partnerships across the west of Scotland. We work very closely with local authorities and the third sector, and this ensures that students have access to high quality and well supported placements with transparent and equality based allocation processes. Thirdly, the programme is explicitly designed to support professional success. There is a strong focus on professional identity, resilience and readiness for the supported year for the newly qualified social workers. In Scotland, in the first year of your practice is termed your newly qualified social work year, and our final year melds directly into that first year. So you take learning styles and your portfolios directly applicable to your first year in practice. So students don't simply qualify, they are prepared to thrive in practice. Our curriculum is also trauma informed and values led, with the 2RAS trauma skills practice embedded throughout. Ethical decision making, rights based approaches, and reflective practice are core features of student learning. And finally, location matters. Studying social work in Glasgow, Scotland's largest city, provides unparalleled access to statutory and third sector services, enriching both classroom teaching placement and learning, and employability. In terms of industry engagement and employability, so an MSc Social Work is fully accredited by the Scottish Social Services Council. It means that graduates are able to register as qualified social workers upon completion. Industry engagement is built into every stage of the programme. Students learn with and from the profession through placements in local authorities and third sector organisations. They're supervised and assessed by qualified practice educators who tend to be social workers working within those organisations. The staff team are all social work qualified. We maintain strong links with organisations such as Social Work Scotland, the Scottish Association for Social Workers, as well as local authorities, third sector organisations, ensuring the programme remains aligned with workforce needs. In terms of graduate outcomes, social work remains a high demand profession in Scotland, and GCU graduates progress into a wide range of roles, including children and family services, adult services, mental health, older people, learning disability, justice settings, and third sector organisations. Graduates are career ready from day one with strong preparation for the newly qualified social worker year. It's also worth noting that the Scottish social work qualifications travel well internationally. Graduates who wish to work overseas can apply for professional equivalence, and GCU has an excellent track record for supporting this process. So in summary, the MSc in Social Work at GCU offers a values-driven, practice-focused and professionally accredited route into a rewarding and impactful career. Our graduates leave not only qualified, but confident, resilient and ready to serve the communities that need them most. Thanks very much for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thanks so much, Gary. That was a really useful presentation. I can see that we've got quite a few attendees on the session today, so please feel free to ask any questions you've got in the chat box. I can see there's a question there from Eugene, Gary. I think you can see that one.
Yes. Oh, yes. So first of all, Eugene, apologies for that it's taken that long. If you had applied through UCAS on the 19th of March, then yes, your application will absolutely still be considered. It'll be sitting in our application portal, and we're working through those. So we are hoping to get through all the applications within the next week and a half. So you should hear either way. So yes, optimism is always worthwhile. We will be in touch fairly shortly.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gary. Just to say, if anyone else has any other questions, we'll wait a couple of minutes because I know it can take time to type. But if you have any further questions, please feel free to ask them because this is the best opportunity to get some time with the programme leader.
Yeah,
and we'll stay online.
Absolutely, and I can answer questions about the delivery of the programme, what we teach. I teach quite a lot of the modules on the programme. I am a graduate of GCU myself, so whatever way I can help.
There's a question in there from Keelan, I think, Gary, if you can see that one.
Yes, so what is the application process like after applying, and will there be multiple interviews, and are the interviews group or individual style? So the application process is just the application that you put through online, the personal statement, references, and your undergraduate degree along with your transcript. we take all of that into consideration, and then we would be offering a place based on that. There isn't an interview at this stage. What we do have are applicant days where you can either come along online, a session like this one, or in person for a tour of the university, and we talk you through the programme. So beyond the actual online application, and once you receive a response off the back of that alone, there isn't a second stage. I hope that helps, Keelan. Anybody else? Oh, there's another one here from Eugene. So, what support does the university have in place for students, especially international students, during placements, since placement is key, as part of the key requirements for the course? So GCU has a very strong student support function. Student wellbeing services, I think, are second to none. For any student who might be struggling. There are also assessments that we can undertake if you're a carer, or if there are any other aspects of your life that might impact on your ability to do well academically. We take all of those into consideration, and you will be supported. Specifically with regards to the course, you will be allocated a personal tutor, so one of the academics, who would be there for, who would have a pastoral responsibility, and also there just to help you through your 2-year journey. In terms of the placement provision, you have, as well as your academic tutor, you have a practice learning tutor, the academic that's responsible for overseeing your placement, and your practice assessor, which is somebody in industry, a social worker that works with you and assesses your practice. Across the 2 years, the first year, because it might be the first time that you've been in practice, it's a lot more supportive and there's a lot more scaffolding. In the second year, it's still supportive and it's still scaffolded, but it's closer to your first year in practice. So we're hoping that by the time you get to your second year, you'll be a lot more independent in terms of your ability to work in a practice setting. All the way through the university, your academic tutor and your placement learning tutor will be available to help you through the process. If there are specific issues with regards to language, academic writing, we have the Learning and Development Centre at GCU, who are very good at being able to point students in the direction of resources or work with students to try and make sure that they are on track. We are very, very student-centred here at GCU, and we want to privilege the student as much as possible, and make sure that we can get you through your degrees. So if you come onto the programme, we will do everything we can to make sure that you get to the other end. I see that Hannah's put on the student wellbeing link in the chat. So if anyone's interested, please do have a look at that.
Yes, absolutely. I've just added that link in. I'm just looking up the link for the LDC as well, the Learning Development Centre. So I'll pop that into the chat as well. There's another wee question there for you, Gary. Oh, a couple more questions.
Two, so yes.
So
Mary, you're saying that you'd love to learn more about the placement process requirements and the different types. So our placements mirror work in social work in Scotland. So social workers do a very diverse range of jobs. You could be working with children's services, adult services, and mental health and learning disability and older people, addictions, justice services, and within each of those services, a whole range of provision that is offered to support people. That means that social workers have to work in those places, and it also means then there's the opportunity for student social workers to learn in those places. So we have a wide range of placements in a whole host of different organisations. Either statutory services where social workers have a legal responsibility to do certain tasks, or involuntary services where the task is much broader, often lower tariff, but not always, but with less of a statutory underpinning. Social workers work in both of those contexts, so we also want students to have placements in both of those contexts. You will have an option of being able to tell us what your preference is, but the preference in terms of where you work is secondary to any other needs that you might have. So we also take into consideration any needs with regards to mobility, where you have to be, are you a driver, do you not drive, do you have caring responsibilities, all of those things we try and take into consideration, and we try and match you with a placement that was best suited to your needs. We also, as well as the placement provision, and that is a large part of what we do, we also bring in social workers from the field to come in and do sessions with students across the various modules that we run. So you will get, even if you don't get a placement in, for example, justice services, we have justice social workers coming in and talking to you about the job that they do, and talking about the theory underpinning the job that they do, the legislation underpinning the job that they do. We also have industry partners coming in during workshops to tell you a bit about the jobs that are on offer, and we would support you through the sort of interview process by highlighting where, when interviews are taking place. Most local authorities will tell us when they're doing a recruitment drive, and we post those links for the students to see. So, Mary, I hope that answers your question. Keelan, you're asking what are some of the key factors you're looking for in the applications? Non-conventional. So, Keelan, you're saying you've got non-conventional experience, such as research experience, but with children, neurodivergent individuals, Alzheimer's and dementia, will all of this experience still be considered? I think that is highly relevant experience, Keelan. That's not non-conventional from our perspective. Social work is about working with people who require support, and that could be any number of in any number of fields. Whether that's working with somebody who's just been released from prison and helping them re-establish themselves in communities, whether it's working with somebody who has difficulties with their mental health, neurodivergence. There are many diagnoses for neurodivergence is rising. Many more people are coming on to statutory books and looking for services because of their neurodivergent status. All of that is absolutely crucial. So if you have experience working in any sort of support capacity, all of that is relevant. Even if it's not working in a support capacity, but you're working closely with people and you understand the difficulties that they might be facing in life, that's highly relevant too. I come from a non-conventional background with regards to social work. I had an undergraduate science degree, a degree in maths and a degree in psychology before coming to do social work, and was heavily research focused. I made sure that but all of that experience is brought to bear in practice and in the qualification. And don't forget, you also have to do a research element in your qualification. So having research experience will stand you in good stead. And again, I hope that answers your question, Keelan. Eugene, you put something else there. So does the university send students for placement outside of Scotland? If yes, is there some kind of provision or arrangement for reimbursement for transportation fare outside Scotland? I'm an international applicant from Nigeria. We don't at present send students for placement outside of Scotland. We are looking to try and increase that capacity, but that's a while away yet, and it certainly won't be offered in this particular in the upcoming session. But it's something that we are thinking about in the future. Here in Scotland, when you go on placement, there is capacity for things like travelling expenses whilst you're in placement to be reimbursed. There are provisions in place within local authorities and third sector organisations for you to be able to claim back your mileage if you drive, or to be able to claim back your travelling expenses if you take public transport. Again, I hope that helps. I'm very much enjoying these questions. They're very relevant.
I know, I was actually going to agree, Gary. There's been lots of really useful questions being answered on this webinar today. So thank you so much to everyone for your great questions. Keep them coming. We've still got a couple more minutes left in the session. If you've got any last questions for Gary, please just let us know. Yeah, we'll stay online for a couple more minutes, Gary, and see if any other ones come through.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think, unless anyone is still typing, in which case while I'm talking, please feel free to put any questions in the chat box. But failing that, I just want to say a huge thank you to Dr. Gary Kainth for joining us today for our MSc Social Work session as part of the postgraduate information event. If you have any further questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. I'm just dropping an email address into the chat box here. Yes, please feel free to get in touch with us. We'll have the recording of this session, so we'll make sure to send this recording out. And yes, thanks so much to everyone for joining us. Thanks again.
Yep, thanks a lot. It's been a privilege.
Thank you.